One of the most fascinating experiences you can have is walking through ancient places with a tour guide. They tell you about the ruins, how old they are, and how they were built. Sometimes it feels like you're living a day in the life of our ancestors. What helps guides and historians share these stories is the huge progress in archaeology and excavation methods. But despite that progress, many landmarks around the world remain a complete mystery, not just for visitors, but even for archaeologists. Welcome back. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. Coral Castle is a tourist attraction in Homestead, Florida. It started out as a small private castle. Back then, entry was only 10 cents. The founder would personally greet visitors and talk about why he built it, but he always avoided the most important question: how he built it. For decades, the secret stayed hidden until 1951, when the builder Edward Leedskalnin passed away. Today, Coral Castle is a museum and a famous landmark. What makes it a mystery? The entire castle was built from over 1,100 massive coral stones, some weighing up to 9 tons each. The stones were placed perfectly together, without cement. The balance and weight alone keep them standing, almost like the pyramids of Giza. Even hurricanes couldn't move them, and the carvings, planets, moons, and shapes, show a level of skill that still amazes experts. But here's the shocking part. Edward worked alone. For 28 years. No one ever saw him move the stones or use any kind of machinery. The only thing Edward ever said before he died was this: "I discovered the secret of the pyramids." Located in modern-day Turkey, Göbekli Tepe is estimated to be 11,000 to 12,000 years old. It has giant stone pillars, each 5 meters tall and weighing up to 10 tons. Archaeologists believe this is the oldest known temple in human history. But that's all they know. After more than a decade of research, no one has figured out what it represents, who built it, or even which civilization it came from. The only theory is that an ancient group settled there, until they were wiped out by another group, taking their secrets to the grave. Stonehenge is probably the most famous, mysterious monument in the world. Experts estimate it's at least 5,000 years old. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, visited by millions. But the truth is, no one really knows what it is. Some say it was a temple. Others believe it was a burial site. Some even think it was a house or fortress. But the real question remains: who built it, and how did they lift such massive stones thousands of years ago? The Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered between the 1940s and 1950s, hidden in caves near the Dead Sea. Archaeologists found hundreds of ancient manuscripts, many of them biblical texts, making it one of the most important discoveries of the 20th century. But the strangest discovery came in 1952. The Copper Scroll. Unlike the others, which were written on parchment, this one was engraved on metal. And instead of religious writings, it described a vast treasure, tons of gold, silver, and coins, supposedly hidden in dozens of secret locations. The problem? The scroll reads more like a coded riddle than a map. Its language is unusual, some sections are badly damaged, and many of the landmarks it mentions no longer exist. For decades, scholars have debated its meaning. Some believe the treasure was real and already taken in ancient times. Others think it was symbolic, never meant to be found. And a few still hope the treasure is out there, waiting for the right person to unlock the code. To this day, the Copper Scroll remains one of archaeology's greatest unsolved mysteries. Laos, a small country in Southeast Asia, is mostly covered with mountains. But hidden among them lies one of the strangest and most mysterious archaeological sites in the world: the Plain of Jars. The name comes from the hundreds of massive stone jars scattered across the valley. There are more than 300 jars, each several tons in weight, and they are believed to be around 3,000 years old. Imagine walking through an open field and finding gigantic jars everywhere, each carved out of solid rock. The real mystery: no one knows who made them, why they were made, or even how they were moved into place. Local legends tried to explain. One story says that giants built the jars to drink wine after great battles. Another claims that warriors used them to celebrate victories. and some suggest they were simply giant containers to store water during the dry season. But the most famous theory came in 1935, when French archaeologist Madeleine Coligny studied the site. She found human remains inside some jars and suggested that they were actually ancient tombs. She also pointed out one jar that had a heavy stone lid, which she believed proved that most jars were originally sealed the same way. The problem? Most jars contained no remains at all. That's why many archaeologists rejected her theory. Some even argued that the human bones she found might not prove anything more than an isolated burial, or perhaps even a crime from long ago. And so, between ancient legends and modern science, the plane of jars remains an unsolved mystery. Were the jars truly tombs? Were they water storage containers? Or do they hold a purpose we still can't understand? Until today, the questions remain, and the jars of Laos continue to keep their secrets. And that's it for today's journey through some of the world's most mysterious monuments. Even with modern science and technology, many secrets from the past are still unsolved. Which of these mysteries fascinated you the most? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and share this video with a friend who loves mysteries. Until next time, stay curious and stay mysterious.